Okay, good evening, Rams. We have 2 pages we're going to take care of today. We're going to learn about the rules for adding integers. Okay, so we have 2 different sets of rules depending on the signs of the numbers. So what I mean by same signs, it means they are both positive or both negative. Those are little quotations there for you. Both positive or both negative. Okay, so the first example here, they're both negative. Okay, so that's for my number line here. So what I do when they're all the same, remember the Army Man activity in class, right? That's like saying 6 bad guys plus 5 more bad guys. Well, they're all on the same team. That means they're all negatives. So what I have here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 negatives. That is all there is, just 11 negatives. We just add them all up and combine them. Now, my number line rules, you already learned it yesterday a little bit in class, but it's okay. We're going to go ahead and to practice it a bit anyway. It says begin at 0. So here's my 0. Okay, I'm going to look at the first integer, and I'm going to draw an arrow that many spaces in that direction. So if it's negative, I go left. If it's positive, I go right. So I'm going to go left 6 spaces. So I'm going to start above the number line just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to go 6 spaces to the left. Okay, now I'm going to begin where that arrow ended, and I'm going to look at the second integer. Okay, this time it's negative 5. Okay, I'm going to draw an arrow 5 spaces in the negative direction. So I went 6 spaces, and now I'm going to go 5 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, sometimes to find those, we can actually do like little jumps. But remember, we're counting the spaces, not the lines. So if I'm counting these 6 spaces, I go, that's 1 space, 2 space, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. Even though it may be 7 little marks because we have one at the beginning, okay? We're looking at spaces. And where we end up is our answer. Okay, not too bad. Now, the rules here, as long as the signs are the same, that's important. As long as the signs are the same, we just add the numbers and keep the same sign. Okay? If both numbers are positive, the sum is positive. What is sum again? It is the answer to an addition problem. Now remember, anytime that you need to pause this to write things down, you can. Or take a pause and you can write questions that you have that we can answer in class, okay? If both numbers are negative, just like they were up here, the sum, the answer is negative. Okay, that's our rules, okay? Now we're going to go right down here. We're going to do a couple of practice problems together, okay? All right, first one is 4 plus 8. They're all positive. So I'm going to take 4 positive integers. 3, 4. We can use like integer chips. You could use pennies and nickels. It doesn't matter. You can use different colored beans. We use those sometimes in class. But 4 positives plus 8 more positives. These are positive. We have to have an operation in there. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's all I have. It's just a whole bunch of positive integers. I'm going to start at 0. I'm going to go over to 4. And then I'm going to go 8 more spaces. And I will end up at 12. My answer is positive 12. Okay, the next one. Negative 3 plus negative 7. So I'm going to have 3 negatives. 1, 2, 3. And then 7 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, they're all the same. So there's nothing else I need to do, right? So we learned a little bit in class about something called 0 pairs. You do not have 0 pairs if the signs are the same because there's nothing that cancels each other here. So I start at 0 and I go 3 spaces to the left. And then I'm going to go 7 more spaces to the left. So if I really wanted to count that, that looks like this. I start at 3 and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it ended up right here at -10. And I keep drawing my arrows. I see two separate arrows. Okay, my answer is -10. And if you look right here, I had 10 negative integers left. Okay, just two more on this one. 9 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Altogether, I'm going to have 15 positive circles here. So I'm going to go 9 spaces. That would end up at 9. And 6 more spaces. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to end up over here at 15. And it's positive 15. Now, the question comes up often, do I need to put that positive, that plus sign in front of the positive 15? Well, if I ask you how old you are and you tell me that you're 11, do you have to say positive 11? No, you don't have to, because it is assumed that it's positive unless you put the negative sign, okay? Now, if it's a negative number, you always need the negative, all right? -6 plus -6. A lot of people look at that and say, oh, it's 0. Well, be careful. It's negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to add 6 more negatives. They're all negatives, so there are no 0 pairs. So it looks to me like I see 12 negatives here. But I'm going to start at 0 and see. I'm going to go left 6, and then 6 more, and it will put me at -12. Okay, these are the rules when the signs are the same. Okay, now the next page is opposite signs. This is what happens when you have some positives and some negatives, and these get a little bit trickier, okay? So 0 pairs, first thing we need to know is a little bit of vocabulary, okay? So a 0 pair is when one positive integer cancels out one negative integer. Okay, that's kind of like the red and the yellow army men when the two of them both kill each other at the same time, right? Okay, so all we do here with models is we circle the 0 pairs. So I have my 5 negatives and then my 9 positives, and I'm going to circle the 0 pairs. So this is a 0 pair. They're going to cancel each other out. Here is a 0 pair that cancels each other, and another one, and another one, and another one. And by organizing your work like this, it makes it a lot easier. What's left over here? I see 4 positive integers. It's that easy. Now, your number line is just like the rules on the previous page. We start at 0, and I'm going to go the spaces in the direction of the first number. So I'm going to go 5 spaces in the negative direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this number is positive. So I'm going to go in the positive direction 9 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My answer, I end up at 4. Okay, you see how our number line is? All right. Now the rules. We are going to ignore the signs and subtract the absolute values. Oh, that's a word from a while ago, right? Okay, so what that means is I'm going to look at -5 and 9. What are the absolute values of -5 and 9? Well, the absolute value of -5 is 5, and the absolute value of 9 is 9. So I'm going to ignore the signs and just subtract them. So 9 minus 5 is 4. Now, I determine which number is larger. Now, I don't mean positive or negative, which absolute value is larger, okay? The 9 is larger. So your answer will have the same sign as that number. So if my 9 in the problem was positive, then my answer is positive. So my answer is positive 4. Okay? So basically, look, if you look right here, it just says, are there more positives or more negatives, and by how many? So if the signs are the same, we actually end up subtracting. We want to know how many more there are. Are there more good guys or more bad guys? All right, so here are a few that we're going to practice with. All right, I love this unit. It's a lot of fun, and it's very hands-on. And so there's usually always a way that everybody can learn this. Okay, 7 positives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so my 0 pairs. Every positive and a negative can cancel each other out. What am I left with? 3. Okay, my number line here. I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go to positive 7. I'm going to go 7 spaces in the positive direction because my first number was a positive 7. Now I'm going to go 4 spaces in the negative direction so I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go over there to that 3. And that is my answer. Oh, that's a messy 3, sorry. All right. I don't want to run out of time here. My YouTube limits how long my videos can be. Okay, negative 2 plus 8. That's 2 negatives plus 8 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, here's 1, 2, 0 pairs. And what do I have left over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positives. Okay, so right here, I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go 2 spaces in the negative direction. And then I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to pick back up again, make a new arrow, and I'm going to go 8 spaces in the positive direction. If you need to count those little spaces with little jumps, that's okay. And they end up at positive 6. Okay, how much time do I have? One more. I can do one more. 10 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll look at my 0 pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were more negatives in this problem, so my answer should be negative. 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives there. That's pretty great. I'm going to go 10 spaces in the negative direction this time. My pen's running out here. And then I'm going to go 6 spaces in the positive direction. I end up right here. So if I looked at my rules, what I'm going to do is say ignore the signs. 10 minus 6 is 4. The 10 is bigger, and it's negative. So my answer will be negative 4. Okay, so we're going to practice these some more in class this week, okay?